All right, I'm back on. I managed to hit the off button when I was jiggling a wire there. So we're back on. Yay. Okay. Oh, gosh. How robustly irritating is that? Back on. Like I said, I got my booster shot today. So I feel a little bit in the arm, but not bad. I constantly think about Bill Gates. God, that had got to have been one of the most weirdest conspiracies I've ever heard. Oh well, we won't get into that because it's amazing how many people believe in that. All right, I'll shut up now. All right, here we go. Oh. Oh, I'm gonna get some Mars yellow. Oh, I'm gonna take a picture of this mess of my organization skills. It should be titled "Mike Traps Life." Oh dear, that's a dead horse. Yeah, just toss it. Toss that one too. Whoa! Okay. There we go. That'll work. Dum dum dirty. Well, maybe. Come on. There we go. Oh. There we are. A little more of that. There we go. Oh, I couldn't help myself again. Got excited. Ha ha. Yeah. I got that show coming up and I got a vacation in the middle of that, so I'll make it. I think we need more red than that. Whoa! And yellow. I tell you, it's an ongoing battle here. I'm going to put all these over here. That will help. Oh my gosh. Well, heck, I used it like 2 minutes ago, and do you think I could find it? No. That's a good brush. I am going to do it. I'm going to do it. You're going to be proud of me. And I might be painting off and on today. Because I need to get these done. All right, we're just going to do that. We're just going to stick with that. You gotta be flexible. Add just a bit of that too. That probably will do the trick, actually. Boom, ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Yeah, that'll work. That's a little stronger than I'd like. Yeah, that'll work. Got our spaceships here. We're going to work on those quite a bit here. I'll go over a little bit because of a spin down. Hello, how are you doing? Greetings, Diane. Glad you saw the other link. I was jiggling a wire because that's what happened. It had a wire that was a little bit loose, and I jiggled it, and I managed to hit the off button. I was like, oh god. Ah. Story of my life. What do I tell you? I got my booster, so I'm all boosted up. I was surprised they got me in and out, and uh, I was scheduled for 10. They got me in at 10:02, and I left at 15 minutes later, and I was done. Yeah, looks like it. That's all right. But I might be on and off today because I need, well, with that vacation coming up, and then plus I have a show. I got one more painting I need to really get out, and I wouldn't mind getting like a couple more just to kind of give it a a little bit of safety margin. But yeah, I was pretty painless. I know usually it's the next day that you kind of feel it a little bit. So that was at least the last booster I had. I actually ended up just taking the day off. I was surprised they just gave it to me. They didn't cost me any time. Yeah, I was so lucky. I went online. A Walgreens really close to my house had one slot open, and I took it. I must have got on right after there was a cancellation. That's all I could figure out because I got super duper lucky. Yeah. Now I started thinking about Bill Gates, so it was amazing. Oh, I'm feeling fine. The arm, I could feel it a little bit in the arm. I know it's usually the next day is when you have your arm is a little bit sore. And I was, last go around, that one took me down a little bit. I ended up having to take the day off because I was just kind of napping but by day two I was fine. It didn't last very long. So we're going to try to get this line more crisp than this. Oh yeah. And I need to make an event announcement too for the show coming up. It's hard to believe that show is, well, actually for time for me, I only have about 2 weeks to get the rest of the stuff done. So it didn't affect the voice. Listen to that voice. Oh my God, I'm in voice today. Watch out. Hope people are not trying to do the other one. See if I can't delete that video. Oh well. I'll tell you what, if you want to be almost completely self-sufficient, hugely successful artist, you almost need an entire team working with you. You need somebody that keeps your social networks all up to date. Have a website for you. Have probably it'd be better if I had like a. But I think, yeah, you really do. You need a lot of support. That's fine. I love painting, so that's the big. Like I always say, you've heard me say it 100 million times. If you're not having fun, stop. So Bob Ross always says, just like that. I always like that one quote from Bob Ross. He said that always make sure every single day you do something that you love. And I've been very fortunate with the artwork that I able to do that. And it doesn't have to be doing artwork. It could be anything. If you like your cats, or if you like watching art, or you like going seeing art, or you like listening to music, you should always do something. At least one day out of the day, take time to pamper yourself. Have yourself a glass of wine or whatever, and do it. Or if you like tea or whatever, it doesn't have to be anything particular. It's just something that you particularly like to do. And me, it happens to be art and drinking wine. Yep. Yeah, it's really smoky here in Portland today. Nothing like it was 2 years ago. That was a disaster 2 years ago. But we have it's brown skies right now because we've got a couple of sizable fires, sir. Not right into the Portland area, unlike 2 years ago. 2 years ago was scary. That was the first time living right in the damn city, and they were wondering if they were going to have to evacuate parts of Portland. The outlying areas got evacuated. But I remember reading that it was on the national news, I think CNN or whoever it was, and they said the Oregon government's thinking the unthinkable right now of evacuating Portland. You know, I can imagine the panic. So what we're doing here is I'm trying to create. You've got the sun's hitting this huge gas giant, okay, but it reflects its colors onto this particular moon here. And I saw one of the most amazing photographs of, So one of the most, I'm going to see. Am I blocking everything? No, I guess you can see. Okay, good. But one of the most amazing photographs I saw, I forget what probe or satellite took it. It was showing the moon with the Earth's blue reflecting across the surface a little bit. And I thought, wow, that's cool. Well, just like the moon, when really bright moon you get here, sometimes, and all that moonlight goes. It's almost like daylight out, But we're gonna work on these spaceships too. We gotta make them kind of cool. They're little patrol crafts, what they are. They've had some smuggling in the area, so that's like a patrol craft. Oh, cool. Yeah, I have a coworker. She does jewelry, and I keep encouraging her. I say, Christine, you take time to do it because you love doing that. She gets, I want her to. Be happy to do those. It's just important. She makes some really beautiful stuff too. Take time for Christine. That's what I always say. I'm going to get my handy dandy sponge out here. See if I can still use that. I probably can still use that one. Buddy. I said, what was it? It was a quote from Cher. She says, you got to be able to enjoy making a fool of yourself. I think that's one thing she was saying. Got some of those outfits that she used to wear or still does, Move that up just a little bit so we could get that down there. There we go. I'll be painting edges today, adding wire, making sure I got everything. Before I go on vacation, I want this show pretty much wrapped up. All I have to do is send out alerts and stuff like that is coming up. But That show is going to be the 15th of October, which is not very far away. Especially with a vacation in the middle of that, I'm going to be in DC, as I've been telling you probably 300,000 times now. But yeah, so I got to get that one. I want that wrapped up, so I'm not doing a. I'm very fortunate I get a little bit of time right after the occasion, and that will probably be enough to wrap everything up. But I don't want to have to be rushing. I want to be able to sit there and eyeball all the paintings, make sure they're up to snuff, for the show. Nothing's worse as it hangs something on the wall and you're like, oh, gosh, why did I forget to do that? I went to a Cher concert once. She came to the Tacoma area. It was several years ago. It was an outdoor concert. It was kind of cool. It's kind of a force of nature. There's another one that's been, you think about these ones that have been around for, God, so many bands and stuff like that. They're, the one hit wonder done, and they're over with. But you got like Elton John. I went to an Elton John concert too. That was good. I think my favorite concert I ever went to, though, I know it's my favorite concert, was Tina Turner. Holy crapolas. Well, you didn't need an encore after her. She wore you out. Everybody was on their feet the whole time. Tina Turner, my God, that there was a force of nature. Wow. Watched a few biographies on her. It's just like, wow, that is one strong person. So the sun's going to be coming like this. So we'll probably highlight these, but like I said, you're getting reflections too from that planet there. Big gas giant. Gaseous giantness. Yeah. I just love some of those photographs that Webb now is taking pictures of like Jupiter. And it's like, holy cow. Just really cool. That was a monumental effort by NASA. Yeah, you'd have to give NASA a lot of credit. I'm a big fan of NASA. So, I imagine it was. She had a lot of energy. Whew. Yeah, it's too bad she died so young. But yeah. But when I went to Tina Turner's one, hell, she was 62 at the time, and she was just, whoa, my God, I couldn't believe she could have that type of energy. I saw an interview with her, and she was saying that she warms up 2 hours prior to the concert. She's stretching and all that type of stuff. So that's one reason why she's roaring, I had one of my friends, he dressed up as Tina Turner. When he walked into the stadium where she was at, people were, "Oh my God, it's Tina Turner." I said, "No, that's John." I was like, "Oh God." You probably spent all morning getting ready for that. That's got to be amazing feeling as a performer when you could fill an entire stadium with, six. I think the crowd were there. I think it was about 25,000. That's amazing. Could you imagine what that does to your? Oh, geez, God, where was that? Where did you go? Brown into that. Oh, I think it was so funny when back in the 50s, I think it was in the 50s, when rock and roll first started coming out big, and there was a big movement to make it illegal. They said it's just awful music. It's just awful. That needs to be made illegal. It's like, oh God. I actually think they would be shocked with Mozart's music was considered proper and all that type of stuff. They'd be shocked if they met the real Mozart. He was a wild partier and he drank himself to death. That's literally what killed him. He just, he was only 33 when he passed. And I think they would be absolutely horrified. Oh, this is such proper music. Oh my God. When we were in the movie Amadeus, they kind of showed it a little bit. He was just a wild guy. Lady. Okay, let's work on these guys. Our little F-36 or the P-38s patrol craft. Though I really wonder if, in reality, in science, if it's going to be more like drones. We won't see piloted, not like Star Wars, but it's fun. It's science fiction. Underline the word fiction. P-37s. Yeah, we'll call them P-37s. How's that? Yeah, they're the P-37s. P stands for patrol. Thank you. Well, what they did, they lived life beyond to the fullest, and that was part of it right there. P-38, P-37s. No, let's go with the P-47. How's that? We'll call them the P-47s. It's two squadrons here. I think a squadron is 4 ships. If I remember right, I'll have to look that up. I did one painting. They gave it to a friend for all of his help. If you have any questions about computers, he knows it. Period. I mean, he does. He just pretty much knows it. Oh, I bet it's this. If you got a problem, he's helped out a lot. No, couldn't help myself again. Yeah. Yeah, but I got to put out my event now, so I got to talk to my guy who's going to provide the music for me. I've already talked to him, and he said he can do it. But I wanted him to look at the sound system in this place. It's a little bit of a challenge, so he'll manage. Lawrence entertained everywhere. He even actually brought his cello onto the our light rail and played from there. So there you go. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, got a fan blowing. Might have to move that fan just a little bit. It's drying that paint out really fast. There we go. Actually, I'm going to spray it down a little bit. This is another way to get it to flow. You just spray the water right on there. And that was a technique that my art teacher showed me. It was awesome. Oh, Chuck Nas. There was a good person. Hey, I don't know if he realized. He's been gone for at least 5 years now, but I don't know if he realizes how fondly he's remembered. I think it's always a cool thing if you could had an impact on people's lives. That's one thing. A really good teacher, they're good. You also remember the bad teachers, but he was one of the good ones. That's for sure. These are capable in and out of atmospheres too. So, hello, Mavis. I'm glad you found the new link. I managed to turn off the darn computer. I was like, oh, I was jiggling a wire and then I hit the off button. I said, oh gosh, I couldn't believe it when I did that. I was like, oh, few choice words were uttered. We've decided the name of the type of craft is a P-47. What are you talking about, Diane? Hey, Billy. I'll call you Bobby. I'm going to go on a little longer today, and I might be off and on today. So, get a smaller brush here, because I really do need to get these paintings done, because I need to get one more. I'd like to get at least one more, and it's a bonus if I get a little more than that, because that gives me the cushion I need. I still would like to do one more Portland type scene, and I'm going through my photographs to see what I've got. I kind of like how the tripod one turned out with Powell's books. Yeah, I sent them a picture of it, but they haven't responded. Sometimes they'll put it on their site, which is really cool. Yeah, Yeah, my arm's not bothering me hardly at all. So, but I know that could change tomorrow. So we'll see. So far, I'm doing just fine. I didn't even feel it go in. Ugh. I had a paintbrush in my hand and I set it down. You think I can find that? This will work though. That's too much of a. Get these guys cool. You know, if I go on and off today, I'll probably actually be able to finish this one today. I'll just go on. Just if you're around, you're around. I was stationed in Kentucky for 6 months. I think it was 6 months. Yeah. It's actually a very pretty state. I always say it's the back lawn of the country because bluegrass grows naturally there, and they have arborvitae forests, and it's super green. And then they have some of the best cave networks in the world with Mammoth Cave. That was really fascinating going through Mammoth Cave. They have a Mammoth Cave. I think it's a national park if I remember right. It's really fascinating. Really worth. If you're ever in around Kentucky, stop in Mammoth Caves. And Louisville, and I'm pronouncing that correctly. You should be proud of me, Billy. Louisville, they say it. It's actually a pretty cool city. The Ohio River goes through there. They have Lexington, Kentucky. Well, now she's passed away, but the Queen Elizabeth actually had horses there. She would be in and out of Lexington every once in a while. Excuse me. In fact, I think the official horses that pull the carriages and everything, I think are all raised in Kentucky, if I remember right. They actually have a name to it. It's like the gray. And they said that particular horse is very calm, and they said that's what you need when you're going through all those crowds and stuff like that. They're mobbing to see the Queen. It'll be interesting how now King Charles handles it. I don't think I'd ever want to be monarch. You're constantly in the news. You make one gaffe and it's all over the place, especially today with the social networks. Oh, I don't envy anybody who's heavily in the public. One gasp, everybody's going to know about it. And nobody forgives you. These ships are actually sizable. May not, not really look like they're small, but they're actually sizable. And you can have total living quarters on them and everything. They're big. They're probably the size of like a not a destroyer, but the size of something. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah. But yeah, Kentucky was. I was a bit surprised by Kentucky. I didn't know anything about it when I was stationed there, and I would go out on drives, and it was just actually quite pretty. Another state that was really pretty that I saw was West Virginia. Virginia itself is a very pretty state. A lot of lush trees and all that type of stuff. Completely different than here out west. We have Portland has quite a bit of trees, but we're a little different. We have different types of trees out here. We're a lot drier than the East Coast is. I think a lot of people always think of Portland with all of its rain, and it does get quite a bit of rain, but not, actually New York City and stuff actually gets more rain than we do. There's a lot more humid there. I think I have a good chance of finishing this. If you guys, I'll actually just continue broadcasting if you don't mind. I mean, you can. Hey, Merrick, if you want to zoom out, you can zoom out. But I'm just gonna keep. There's no time limit with YouTube, so I thought that was interesting. Whoa! Couldn't help myself again. How are you doing, Merrick? Holding up in the smoke? God, it's a flashback to 2 years ago, isn't it? Not as bad so far. Let's just hope it stays that way. Oh, that was terrible 2 years ago. Oh boy, doesn't take much. Actually, I'll use this one here. Talking to myself, don't worry about it. Full conversation. P-47s, that's what we're going to call them. These are P-47s. P for patrol. Capabilities of going in and out of any atmosphere, unless it's too tremendous, something like a gas giant is going to be an issue. There's parts that get skipped along the atmosphere, but magnoplasma drives, of course. That's great. I'm actually going to be in the nation's capital on that day. Well, otherwise, I'd catch a ride with you or something to go down. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm looking forward to my trip, but it's unfortunate I'm missing your thing. So. Okay. So let's start getting there. I'm going to do the. Well, I hope everything turns out for Angie's back. I tell you, she's been having. I tell you what, if you've ever thrown your back out, you immediately have sympathy. Well, I tell you, you do. You really do. Okay, I'm going to come in here and use a little bit of blue, but that's just a base color because remember, glass reflects. It doesn't necessarily, the reason why we think of glass as blue and stuff like that is because we have a blue atmosphere. But we're going to do that. That's this bottom part. Every pilot's required to be able to fly that ship without all the computerization, because they said there's weapons out there that could take out fry every one of your computers, and if the computer goes down, you don't want to have to go into the side of a planet or drift aimlessly off into space. I'm going to walk around Washington, D.C. nude. I should make the news, I think. What do you think? Well, I got my booster shot. That's going to help, so yay! I'm so glad when I was able to get that. Last time I was in Washington, D.C., Bill Clinton was president. And he actually went flying over. So that, what do they call that? Marine One or wherever it is, when that helicopter, picks him up. You saw it. Yeah, cool. And he's the only president I have ever seen, physically seen. He went roaring by me in Seattle, but he wasn't president yet. He was in the process of campaigning for presidency. And all of a sudden, you saw all these motorcycles go roaring up and over the hill there. I was in Seattle for some training I had to do, and and all of a sudden the limousine went by, and he gave me a big wave. I was like, that's Bill Clinton. He was already, under because he was the presidential candidate, and that was an armored limousine, roaring by. There we go. Yeah, that would have been Reagan. Yeah, that would have been Reagan. Right at the end of his term. Yeah, I was there in 1990. I think it was 1995 or 93, or it was like that time. Trying to think. No, that would have been about 1995. Yep. Went there. My sister lived in Arlington, which is just outside of DC, and we were walking distance of their metro, the subway, and we went over there and hopped that, and downtown DC you were. It was amazing. Very nice transit system they have there. That's for sure. You feel very safe on it. It was really cool. My niece was she was just a little baby at the time. She was like a little toddler, and boy, she was the star of the train. You had everybody from all over the world there, because there were all the different embassies there. We had people from the Middle East. You had people from Africa, everywhere. It was just, and it was and they all would sit there, and she put a smile on every one of their face. I'll tell you what, if I'm ever president, my ambassador is going to be a child. That's what I'm going to do. And everybody will call me crazy until they realize how effective a kid can be. I'll be brilliant. It'll go down as the most brilliant move in history. Most ridiculed, and then brilliant. Either that or a cat. I might have a cat as an ambassador someplace. Yeah. I had an art show when uh, President Obama was in town, and I thought it caused a havoc downtown, but that was so funny. That's when I did the regulars. That was my revealing of the regulars, and Obama was in town right down the street from the show. It would have been. I would have been so cool if he managed to stop and come by. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna start adding more and more detail. Our P-47s, Quavian Standard Patrol Ship. This is Quavian Empire, by the way. The last one was War of the Worlds with P-47s. Yeah, my goal is to finish this one today. Like I said, I'm just going to leave the camera rolling. When I have to go take a break, I might turn it off for a little bit. Old Gerald Ford. God, when he stepped into that job at a very tumultuous time. Remember, they tried to kill him a couple of times. God, I tell you. Well, he always referred to himself as the husband of Betty Ford. Here, scrub, 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 as Pat would say. Oh my God, I'm in voice. Watch out. Ugh. That's Rossini. See, I know. It's scary, isn't it? I should learn a couple of operas so I could actually sing the words to them. A couple of short ones. I always remember as a little kid when Pavarotti made his debut in the United States, and it was with I think it was the New York Philharmonic. Yeah, I think that's who it was with, and he played the famous Nessu Dorma, and just belted the damn thing, just belted that thing out like there was no tomorrow. And I always remember that. And when he was done, there was just absolute silence in the entire concert hall. And you could tell he was almost had a panic on his face. He says, "Oh dear, did I blow it?" And then everybody started chatting, and then they were on their feet for God, who knows how long. It was amazing. The opera Turandot, which that famous song comes out, I was actually quite disappointed with the opera itself, because there's that one big famous song, and then and unfortunately, when they have the darn tenor sing almost off stage because that's how it's supposed to be done. And it was such a disappointment because I was so used to having it done so, amazingly. And another person that could actually sing Nesu Dorma is actually Sarah Brighton. God, Jesus. And where I was at a concert for her, and she, my God, when she belted that out, everybody was on their feet like there was no tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just going to keep broadcasting for a while. I think I'm going to be able to get this done. So bear with me. You could take your coffee, potty breaks, or beer breaks, or whatever it takes, There's my red. Nope, that's not my red. I gotta take a picture of this mess one of these times and post it. And it says "Mic Trap," all in one word. What I do with my red? Well, heck, that's all right. You improvise. Nope, that was not it. And then disappointment. What do they do with it? What do you walk off with it? I've done that. I've actually found my a tube of paint in my bathroom because I had it in my hand, and probably yeah, we'll just go with this then. That's okay. When all else fails, improvise. Oh, I'm going to do it here. Take a look. Just maybe I'll get lucky. Whoa! Nope. I need to have Caesar fall off there and come crashing down on my head. Killed by Augustus Caesar. I need to do some serious organizing. Oh, well, this will work. Everybody says we might have heard that several times now. Name the tune. Amazing how pink gets damn buried sometimes. That's all right. Work with it, Mike. Work with it. It's one thing, you got to be always adaptable. Yeah, that'll work. That's going to work. I'm going to add a little yellow to that, too. There we go. I don't know about you, but I've been just fascinated with the Webb telescopes. God, it's just amazing. That's when you get it's impossible for the brain to comprehend how far that is. We just can't even begin to. It's hard enough to just talk about our own solar system, which is a dot. Yo. I have no idea. Okay. October 15th, people. I'll probably do a live broadcast also from Sissy is the name of the bar. So wild name for a bar, but it works. Oh, God. I could be an entire orchestra all by myself. I don't know. I just loving these new photographs of Jupiter. We used to always have it the three, and then the big red spot, and now we're realizing it's just a much more dynamic atmosphere that I can't even begin to imagine. Oh, awesome. I was going to ask. Yeah, I'm going to need his help, and I might need help setting up too. They said they're going to help me set up, but I could use all the help I can get. It's going to be about 10 paintings. I think that's what their walls can support is 10 paintings. So those are big walls, though. I might actually be surprised, You hear me still rummaging. I'm trying to find my red. Ugh, it's irritating me right now. What did they do with it, Mike? I tell you. And it has a duct tape on it because when I opened the package, I split the darn. Oh, for goodness sakes! Oh, I'm gonna find it in the most stupid spot. I know that. That's what I do. Oh my God! Like I told you, still most stupid spot. It's sitting all the way over here by the keyboard. Oh, goodness gracious! Oh, couldn't help myself again. And I need to order red paint. Jeez, Jiminy Crickets. Come on, get out there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, good. That'll be about enough. Yeah, I need to get more of that. Oh, I know. I mean, I always tell him, and I tell people, get the heck out of his way. So I have to. Derek is the owner, and I'll have to ask him. It's weird, an orange glow from the sun because of all the smoke in the air. It makes you feel like you're on another planet sometimes. Always remember that when the St. Helens eruption, you felt like you were on another planet. Yeah, we're gonna just keep going a little longer here. I think I'm gonna be able to get this done. I just concentrate and do it. Oh yeah, like I said, I always tell people. I always remember one time I was there and was a artist was having this stuff. I had just finished my art drawing. I can't remember who the artist was, and he had a friend that just wouldn't leave Monroe alone, Rosie there, to get that hung. And I even warned him. I said I would just get out of his way. And he said, "Well, I just know how to hang all this," and blah 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 blah. And then Rosie finally told somebody. He says, "Throw him out. Throw him out. That's it. Get him out of here. He's in my way." And they did. He sat outside. They gave him a beer and they said, "You sit outside." I remember that one. get, get him out of here. He's bothering me right now. And the thing is, normally we set up the day of the show, and then you have things going on. They want to get that done, before the. It takes a while to hang art. You got ladders that come out, and nails have to be put in, and oh, that's another thing. If any new artist, I always say, if you have similar size paintings, make sure you always have them at the same, distance, so it's easier to hang that way. Okay, I'm gonna come in here with a paintbrush. That should work. And mix blue in. Blue and black. Yep, I got Rossini in my head again now. It's all your fault, Merrick. I want you to know that. Somebody's got to be blamed. Normally I blame Diane, but I'll blame you this time. Yeah, I'm going to start putting that event notice out here soon. No, he doesn't. Get him out of here. I threw him out. He always does a good job for me for setting everything up. And I always try to make sure the ones that always just make me so darn mad is when you have those prima donna artists that, are late to get it in there. I can remember I had one guy, they actually replaced me with him because he just wouldn't get back to him. And they said, "Mike, do you have enough art to fill the walls?" And I said, "Yeah." With luck, I did. And I ended up doing very well our show, so I wasn't complaining. And they did. They asked me if I could fill the art, and I did. And then he started complaining. "Well, you told me I was going to be, but you never got back to him." And then when it was finally his turn, he had 5 tiny pieces. That was it. And it was like, "Oh, honey, no, no, these are big walls. You've got to cover them." Oh. He's never been asked back. Yeah. I try to be easy to work with instead of being a prima donna prick, I remember one time somebody had gotten up to order their drink, and he was on his phone, and Rosie flatly said, "Get off your damn phone and order the drink, or get the hell out of the line." I was like, yeah. It's like, whoa. Ugh. I loved it. I consider Rosie a good friend, so. I've been working on this house behind my house, and been rototilling the ground. They had to get up all this roots and all that type of stuff because it was just inundated with blackberries and just a mess. It was just a mess that they are now cleaning all that up. And I wonder if they're going to have like a big garden back there because That's what it looks like they're doing right now. I think it's kind of cool. Clean up these edges here. Yeah, I've been cut off there a couple of times, and deservedly so. I never, ever, ever, ever argue with the bartender. They're doing their job, And if I, even though I may not think I'm that plastered, they're probably right. I am, So I don't ever argue with the bartender, and that's true of every bar, though. They're doing their job. I don't ever want to be what they call 86. I still think we should have a wall at Scandals, the wall of shame for the ones that have been permanently banned from Scandals. I tell you what, I wish other bars would do what they're doing, and where they hand you your we're just adding more ships here, so that's what we're doing. This patrol going on here, but where they hand you the credit card back. I love that, and I love the well, it used to be called Tab Out, now it's Union. But I love that. And yeah, I was at Departures, which is a really fancy bar here in Portland. Beautiful views. You can't match the views. I mean, it's just beautiful up there. And it's right on the rooftop. But what the poor bartender has to cash you out. You have to close out. Hey, Anthony, how are you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you. So what this is the P-47 patrol craft from the Aquavian Empire. They've been having some smuggling operations going on in this area. So that's what you're seeing here. That's the storyline here. P-47s. Yeah, I'm kind of doing a marathon round on this one today, so get it done, or get it very close to being done. That's the idea here. Whoa! Couldn't help myself then. Got excited. Oh dear. That's the storyline. I had a little flare up of one of the strangest allergies, even the doctors say it is. I'm allergic to this one particular, all they can figure out, this is their theory, they don't even know for a fact, is I'm allergic to this one particular mold that grows around here, and it blooms like, the weather absolutely has to be perfect for it to bloom. And when it blooms, and I have a nose that plugs up, and all I have to do is use Flonase. So it's like a mild thing, but it's irritating because the nose drips and all that lovely stuff. And it's the weirdest allergy. It's just like, and there's years I go by without ever it had. I was having it quite a bit when I worked at this one particular office, and the doctor thinks that they're probably, she called it sick building syndrome, and she said probably the ventilation system had never really been cleaned that much. And she said that's probably why that mold thrived in that. But as soon as I got out of the office, she said she was right. She said it'll clear up, and but it's the weirdest allergy. It's just I've only had it 2 times here in Portland. Obviously, the weather was just absolutely perfect for it to thrive, and I think this year we've had such odd weather. I think but it's not been a bad flare-up. In fact, it's clearing up without me having to get the Flonase. So, but if you hear me every once in a while, that's what it is. I recognized it immediately as soon as it came on. I said, here you are. You know? Our P47s. P for patrol. The craft is able to go in and out of atmospheres. It's like a little camping vehicle that they have to land it. They can do it. Camp off the land. Has a crew of, I think it's a crew of 2. That's it. They have like little living quarters down in this area here. So just in case you're wondering about the P47, P47 is a very brilliant craft, very tough, kind of like our A10s, you know, very tough vehicle, you know. Just in case you're wondering. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got one more plane in there. It's 2 squadrons on this one. In the Quavian Forces squadron is 4 craft. I don't know what a squadron in the Navy is. I'll have to look that up. Tough vehicle, though. Yeah. We'll have one more here. I've only had one sinus infection. I'm one of those fortunate people that I'm not prone to that type of stuff. So, but yeah, I had one sinus infection, and that was caused by I had fallen, and I chipped a small, very small bone in my sinus, and that's what caused the infection. Ugh, that was a fun one. Luckily, they didn't have to go in there to fix that bone. It just blow it out. That's about literally what they told me. They said, we'll put you on antibiotics, but just blow it out. One of these times, you'll have a little tiny, tiny microscopic bone come out. It's like, oh, God. I like these doctors. Some of them are just, the doctors I like, are just right straightforward with you. You know, says, well, yeah, you know, it's just kind of like going, yeah. like that last year. He said, "You're lucky to be alive right now." It was like, great. Well, you listen to them when they say something like that to you. You really listen really close. You're kind of lucky to be around. So if you had waited any longer, they said, "Yeah, that would not have been good." Got a few more art pieces in me before I go. P47. You have the P47, the P47A, the P47B, P47 stretch version. Yeah. Oh. Coming in here. Yeah, oh yeah. Count your blessings, I tell you what, you really have to sometimes. I was really worried after that incident with the nose. I said, oh, because I have friends that have had, chronic sinus infections, and I said, oh, I'm so lucky. And then I said, oh, I hope I'm not going to be one of that. I felt so, bad. There's not much you can do. There we go. Invincible. Nothing can kill Merrick. He's a cockroach. I know, it's always amazing though. Those little incidences, realizing how fast something could change in just a matter of seconds. I had my roommate fell down the stairs. He was all he ended up with was rug burn. But I said, it's amazing. He could have, broken something easily, and then there you are. It's just like, oh. Those are the type of scary times that if you're there by yourself, and you have an incident like that, well, I solved the issue. I don't have to climb a ladder anymore. I have some plants that are kind of high up, and I fixed that because I started thinking about that. I said, I never watered them when people were not around, because I said I could just see myself doing the Peter Pan off the side of the, It's like, no. P38, P47's here. Our stars in, when you put the star fields in, vary the size of the stars, so that gives you the feeling of depth. Yeah, I wasn't even sure if I was going to be on today because I got my booster shot and wasn't sure how I was going to be feeling, but I'm feeling just fine. So I know usually it's the next day, but and I plan to be on tomorrow, and I'll start a new. I need to get these one more out at least, So let me get there for the show coming up. it's been. I remember the last time I saw the actual Milky Way was when I was in Hawaii on the Big Island. We went up there to look at the lava flows, which was really fascinating. That was worth the trip to watch the lava flows, and they were poured into the ocean, and they were coming down the side of the mountain. And but what I think I might have been actually been more fascinated with is it was so crystal clear, and you're away from every light that you looked at the Milky Way for the first. It was just all across the sky, and so you had this scene. There's no way a camera could capture it, because you had this scene of the scene, of the lava coming down, and then you have the Milky Way going up behind it. It was just like, wow, that all by itself was worth the trip. It was just like, my God. And they had to test where you walked. They would put out where the paths can be, because they didn't want you there. Sometimes lava was flowing underneath that, and so they had to make sure it was strong enough. And so you don't need to fall down into a lava tube, because you're not going to survive that. That was fascinating. That was fascinating. Just seeing the Milky Way and the lava flows, it's just like, wow. And then steaming ocean, where they hit, it was just like, wow. That was worth the trip. That was a fascinating one. Mother Nature in its full glory. Let's get these engines. These are the magnoplasma drives. Craven's used it for 100 and some years. Just made improvements on it. Once that was discovered, that was like, it's kind of like your warp drive engine. Once that was discovered, stick with it. It works. And there are big improvements too, is cutting down on the static electricity when it came in. Remember that painting I did called Game Changer? That was the big one, and that was like the first really huge chip that could actually make it. And that's what the emperor of the time said. He presented. He said Game Changer, and all of a sudden this huge door opens up, and that ship comes out, and everybody goes, "Oh, Game Changer." Add some. There we go. That's what I want. Oh, I don't know. I always think we should have like an annual thing where you throw the virgin into the flames. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, you could have that on. You could have like that on like a game show or something. Who gets thrown in the lava pit? Remember when St. Helens was it's one of its lava dome building periods. It was a few years ago. It was well past the main eruption we had, and all of a sudden it started erupting lava, and God, I forget what they had statistics on it. It was like a massive dump truck load every second. That's how much lava was coming out. They said at this rate it's going to rebuild its entire lava dome in a matter of a year or two. But then it's calmed down and stopped, But it was like they actually had to close the visitor centers and everything because they said it's in a major lava rebuild. The thing will probably actually rebuild itself someday. You have to admit, volcanoes are fascinating. They are. And we have Crater Lake here, which is a spectacular park and everything. That's 1,943 feet deep. That's how deep that lake is. God, it's amazing. Beautiful, crystal clear water. Okay, we're going to come back in here with a brush here. Actually, I think I might bring my handy dandy I'm just seeing where it looks like it's thin. You want to make sure that paint is not thin. Add a little more. Well, actually, I probably could use a little more of that. Talking to myself, full conversation. Don't worry about it. Probably add a little more Van Dyke Brown here. Van Dyke Brown. Okay, there we are. Okay, cool. One of our mountains might blow up and bury you over there. When Crater Lake, which was called Mount Mazama, blew up its top, it buried Nebraska. Actually, I think they have a national park there of all these ice age things that got trapped in the creatures that got trapped in the burying of the ash, and that ash was actually Mount Mazama. It was like multiple feet of ash that landed on Nebraska. Isn't that wild to think about? I know Mount St. Helens, when it erupted, it circled the globe. Even New York City got a little bit of dusting from it. And as volcanoes goes, that was actually a much smaller eruption. You had like Krakatoa or something like that. Holy cow! I'm gonna add some more craters here. Well, couldn't help myself. Got excited there for a second. Oh yeah. Well, you really think about it. The crust of the Earth is like an eggshell on top of boiling magma. I've been to Pompeii. Yeah, it was like pretty wild. I always remember though. Oh, we were in one house that there was the one room that had very explicit mosaics on it. Let's just say there was certain, and this little girl comes up to me. Why me? I don't know why. Why me? What did they do in this room? Everybody stared at me, and I said, "You need to go talk to your mom about that." Oh, that was a beautiful house. Oh gosh, they even have fast food restaurants. Did you know that? I thought that was interesting. They showed all these that were restaurants along this main street that people, you could see where they had actually cooked the food in front of you. It was really fascinating. That was another trip worth it. I was right before I left the army. I had a chance to go to Rome, and I said, I studied Rome, and I said, I got to do this. So I did. Took a bus down there from Frankfurt, Germany, and went through this huge tunnel that's in Switzerland, and before you know it, you were in Italy. It was really interesting. For several hours. I mean, you slept on the bus, until you got there. Then I stayed at a really nice hotel. It was a Ritz-Carlton in Rome, and then had probably the most exquisite Italian food I ever had. It was awesome. Oh, God, that's 30-some plus years ago now. Right before I got out of the military. Just adding more detail here. We're going to get done with this. I have that feeling now. I think we're getting there. I think the key is keep it kind of fun. Just keep it not complicated. I wonder if they would nominate me for Pope. I think it would be kind of cool. Pope Mike the First, I went to the Vatican. Yep, I got scolded because I woke up the Pope. The Pope John Paul was the Pope at the time. I was told to shut up, literally. That was by the nuns. Shut up. Okay. They said it in 5 different languages. Shut up. And that's a true story. We're almost done here. I think just a few more minutes. I think I'm gonna be able to get done with this. Thank you for hanging on here. Yeah, I double checked with they don't have a time limit. Facebook has a time limit. I think the maximum is 90 minutes you can go. Let's work on these ships a little more. A little bit of reflection of that. Rinse. Remember space, so you don't bank on. And remember, it's science fiction. Always have to remind people of that one. That needs to get cleaned up a little bit. I can see. Thank you, Mavis. We're getting there. All these little things that make it come together, that's what I have found. Never underestimate the little things that just suddenly brings it. And with some Prussian blue. I need to change just a little bit here. It's funny how you just eyeball picks out something and way too bright white. Come in with some brown and some blue and some black with that. Yeah, there we go. A little more black. Carbon black, that is. And it doesn't matter for me. I've used Mars black, carbon black. To be honest with you, it depends on who has the lower price, or if I can get it. Sometimes you'll order a certain color, and it's like it'll take forever to get to you. Can't remember when they used to think the moon was made of cheese. Can you imagine if it was? Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're almost done with this one. We're gonna get done. We're gonna get done here in just a few minutes. Thank you for staying on with me. I know people have wives. Gosh forbid, you know. All right, we're almost done here. Almost. A little bit lighter there. A little bit of white. A little bit of brown. Oops. Yeah, a little more brown. That one needs to be cleaned up just a little bit. Come back in here with a small brush. Clean up those lines a little bit. P47s, that's what these are. Specialized troll craft. Just in case you're wondering, that's what you're looking at here. I need to write an entire story about the Quabian Empire. I think. I keep saying that, and everybody says, "Come on, Mike, do it." You know, it's like, oh, getting the time. My problem is, as soon as I hit the paper, that's when my brain stops. Very tough little craft. Let me take a step back. Yeah, we're almost done. Just a few more highlights here. This one needs to be toned down just a bit. Too much paint on that. Always watch out how much paint you have sitting there. There we go. That's better. And I need to blend that out. Got another brush here, of course. I'll probably go through like 10 brushes at least, each painting. Blend it out. I want to blend that out. Come back in here with a little bit of black. A little more black than that. Carbon black, that is. All right, let me take a look back here. Almost there, people. Almost there. So we did a 2-hour marathon today. Back in here with a little brush here. Thank you for sticking with me. We'll be done. We'll be done here in just a few minutes. Magno plasma drives. This would be Alexa era. Just in case you're worried. Remember, there's no atmosphere, so I'm not going to have a real big trail going off these things. We're going to have a little bit of one. Adding a little bit of unpronounceable blue. White. More white than that. More white. We'll start a new painting tomorrow. That's the plan. All right. One more thing. I got to get my sponge back out here again. Or a sponge technique. Whoa! I'm going down myself. Sorry. Yeah. All right, people. I think that's it. Call it good. All right. Let me step back. Let me look one more time here. Yeah, we're going to call that one. I think we got it. Whoa! Couldn't help myself. Sorry. All right. Get my famous signature here. There we are. And my famous thumbprint. Oh! There we go. What would call this like something as simple as like the patrol. Quavian Empire. All right. You take care. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay healthy, stay safe. Here in Portland, if you're in the Portland area or anywhere where it's hot, we've got some forest fires going and we've got some smoke. So stay healthy. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Seriously, but have a great rest of your day, or wherever you are on this planet, a great rest of your evening, morning, wherever you are. All right, take care. We got the patrol going on here. Take care. Bye-bye. The Quavians. All right. Bye-bye.